Welcome back to Lakers Live this morning. I'm your host, Chet Novak. We've had a few Lady Lakers softball players in trying to get Coach Nelson up here in the press box. We are live at the Lakers softball field right now, but we were unable to get Coach Nelson. He's just too busy trying to get this game in, and we understand that because we've been waiting a while for this home opener, and he's doing everything he can to make that happen. So who we found over here was who else? Right-hand man, Johnny on the spot as always, athletic director Denny Thronberg. Denny, you've been through this before. How is it for Coach Nelson right now, just trying to get this in?
The field is nice. I mean, our field takes a lot of water, and he's done a really good job with it in preparation. But I know what spring sports are all about. I've been doing this for over 30 years. It's just something that you go through. But we want to try to get it in if at all possible. I know Coach would have loved to have played a couple of non-conference games prior to this game, which we did have scheduled. But, those got rained out, so you play when you can. And the weather will not be that bad today. I've played in a lot colder weather than this. The field conditions, will be fine. We have no water out on the field anywhere, and we've got some turfus on it, so it'll be safe for the kids to play.
Right, I was going to say that as long as if it's just a matter of temperature, that's okay. A little wind and a wind chill, we have to tough it out. But the first concern has to be safety. Whose call is that in the end?
Basically, it's a home team's call. We'll make the call. I mean, if we thought it was bad, once the game starts, the game's in the hand of the umpires. So the umpires would make a decision if once the game starts that they feel that the conditions are not right. But the two head coaches will get together prior to and, make sure that the field's playable. The umpires will walk it and so forth. But final call prior to the game usually is the home team. Unless of course I should say if we're in a travel situation where especially budgets the way they are today, we're not going to ask somebody to drive on a chance we might play. But there's no rain in the forecast for today. The field is playable, so we will play.
Okay, and we were in this very boat last week. I believe it was last Monday, and there was just a little water down there on the field, which is right below us and behind us from the press box. Water a little bit toward the first base coach's side. Was that like the final determining factor? Just that? I shouldn't say it was a little bit. It was kind of soupy over there. Was that the final factor that said no go?
Yes, that was unsafe. Those are unplayable conditions. And, of course, early in the year, never do we want to get a player hurt, but, it does happen. But if you can help alleviate that problem, that's what we're going to do. Last week, yes, in front of first base, actually it was still frozen. So, the temperature hadn't had a chance to thaw out yet. But now we're getting into the freezing and thawing. And we knew that as the day went along, that was actually going to get worse. Rather than better. What people don't understand, sometimes they'll look at a softball diamond and they'll say, boy, that really looks nice. But once the kids get out there with their cleats and they get to breaking it up, the moisture actually comes up out of the ground and it gets worse. So that day would not have been a good day. Now, we have had some warm temperatures since that time, so we feel like we're fine today.
Okay, now in a field such as this, it's kind of moist but playable. What difference does that make for a pitcher?
Just some adjustments, actually not so much for the pitcher as for the infield. Our infielders, of course, will have to take some ground balls on that. Obviously, looking at it, I think it'll be a slow infield, so you're probably going to, cheat in a step or two. Really, it's a good day for the bunters to lay a bunt down. It's probably not going to roll, so you look for the short game to be important today. But I think, basically I would remind the kids to charge everything because I don't think we'll get a lot of high hops today. I think it'll be a slow infield, so you'll have to come charge the ball. For pitchers, it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference. Of course, if you're a drop ball pitcher, today would be a good day to throw a lot of drop balls. Keep it down and let them hit those ground balls and throw people out, keep the game moving. I think anytime it's cold, which it will be, on our diamond here, you can almost always anticipate wind because we have a lot of wind on this campus. But it's going to be chilly, so you want the pitchers to keep the game moving.
Okay, now I believe the wind's blowing straight in toward home plate. The last time I opened this press box window, I got woke up pretty good then.
Yeah.
But besides from that wind, a cold day, there's still a lot of humidity in the air, even though it's cold. What kind of effect does that have on the batted balls?
The ball won't carry as much today. Anytime it's colder, the ball won't carry. The big thing is wind. And kind of as a pitching coach, I've always talked to, my pitchers about the wind. When the wind's blowing in, as it is today. It may help our velocity a little bit, okay, and it's also, give us the opportunity to throw the rise ball. So if we do throw the ball, and especially on our diamond, with our fences being just a little bit longer than a lot of the other fences, somebody's going to have to really crush one today to get it out of here. So, you might be able to get by with a mistake or two up. If the wind's blowing the other way, a lot of times the wind's blowing out. The wind's blowing out, and I'll tell the pitchers that's going to make your ball move more, which it will. So if we're throwing into the wind, the ball is going to have more movement on it. If the wind's behind us, we're going to increase some speed. But, either way, you try to get into a pitcher's mind, pitcher's mentality. So I usually try to tell them prior to the game, regardless of which way the wind's blowing, it's always in their favor, one way or the other. So it's a psychology of pitching.